Your activity in my visual cortex doesn't look like the experience of yellow. So how do you cope with that? Well, he quoted John Searle's argument that, well, molecules of water, of H2O, correspond to water. Molecules don't have slippiness and shininess and wetness, but water does. And what Searle says, and I guess that they would argue, is we're just seeing the same thing at different levels. What both Searle and David have missed is that actually having different levels requires consciousness. These are two aspects of the same thing, but you can't have aspects of the same thing. Intrinsically, those things don't have aspects. You require consciousness. In other words, he smuggled consciousness in order to solve this problem. His other problem is the fact that the vast quantity of neural activity is not associated with consciousness, even in the visual pathways, even in V4. Most of that activity is not associated with consciousness. In fact, we don't quite know, indeed, whether there are loci within consciousness. In fact, the search for neural correlates of consciousness has proved to be strikingly barren. So he's got a real problem there. And I think the third problem, was the analogy between Samuel Clemens and Mark Twain. This is a sort of Freudian approach. It says that when we're talking about conscious experiences and neural activity, we're approaching through two senses to the same referent. This is what Frey would say. But again, it's the same problem as having two levels at which you're approaching things. You can only have those levels if you already get consciousness free. Just like the house only has a back or a front view if somebody's looking at it.
I took it straight to 4, but now you're going to try to...
Sorry,
I'm really...
I behaved very badly there.
You complained that looking at V4 doesn't give you any feelings of seeing something. My claim was not that seeing something green was the same as examining a brain. Seeing something green is the same as having a brain. So, of course, the person looking at the brain doesn't see something green. The second point, you say, look, consciousness can't be neural activity because there's lots of neural activity that isn't conscious. You may as well argue that salt can't be made of two elements because there's lots of chemicals that are salt. I mean, the claim wasn't that all neural activity constitutes consciousness, but certain special kinds of neural activity.
I will leave the audience to judge the validity of that response. Which of us is collecting?
We're in the field that does. Yeah, exactly. But we need a decision.
We need a chair. Perhaps
there's a field.
You're moderating it. Does
He's coming.
yeah.
He's coming.
Just in it's back again.
So we need to
hands up, I guess. First contributions. I'm not a philosopher, but I don't think David really adequately addressed probably several of Raymond's points. I mean, this thing about the particular experience like that of red, seeing red, even if it is true that it's identical to certain other types of firing, that to me, just as effectively a layperson, doesn't, even if that is true, which I'm not convinced it necessarily is, but even if it is, I don't think it encapsulates or captures this subjective consciousness. I don't think it explains the eye that's perceiving it. I think music might be a better example to me anyway, because whichever part of our brain responds to music, I mean, I don't doubt that certain brain activity corresponds to music, different pitches, tones of music, but what about the subjective experience of the meaning that music can have? What about the consciousness?
There's still one thing.
What about the conscious
experience of
feeling on hearing a particular piece of music that I really wish I could be in a band?
Can I I thought you were just I thought the worry was that the physicist point of view couldn't explain any conscious experience from the point of view. But now you start bringing in special complicated. So you're happy about my hearing middle C. It's my wanting to be in a band, you don't mind.
No, it's also the subjective experience
of hearing middle C.
Yes. A machine can hear middle C,
Nothing more is involved. That's what it is to be a centre of consciousness that hears subjectively and will see. Let me put this question to you. Suppose, right, we did it right, he constructs a physical being just like you and doesn't do anything else. And now I ask you, what do you think it would be like to be that being responding to certain sound waves? What would you expect it to be like to be that physical being? And your answer, I mean, your question suggests you would expect it to be like nothing. But why would you expect it to be like nothing? How do you know what it's going to be like to be a physical being like that? I put to you that all our evidence shows that to be a physical being like that is to be a being for whom it's like hearing little sea. That's what it's like for you when you're that kind of physical being. Nothing is left out.
This gets close to the critical argument you introduced your David, which says if you reconstructed the complete molecular structure of my body, you would inescapably have something that was conscious as I am. My argument is
inescapably is very strong. It's not, and that will cause there to be extra stuff. Whatever the laws of nature, you will still already have the future. God could not have created a universe in which you had all this physical stuff and now made the laws of nature differently so it didn't cause feelings. I mean, the feelings just aren't the physical stuff.
But what I'm saying is, supposing we reconstruct at the molecular level David Papineau, it seems to me that Kirk inadvertently, and he didn't realise the argument has this consequence, actually shows